Hello there, it is Julie Rothel from artyheaven.com. I thought I would come on and just do some live painting today, and as it is Easter Sunday, to show you a way of drawing with a stylus and something for you to try. So what I have done is this is a real, just an idea for you to try it. I've just done this really simple template of some Easter eggs, and what I'm going to do is effectively kind of trace the image that I've drawn onto the back of this paper, and then I will show you what I do after that. So I've got three simple colours. I've got a red, a yellow and a blue. So I've basically got this Encaustic wax stylus. It is sucking almost like a fountain pen, so it's taken some hot wax up into this nib here. You can see this okay, and I'm now just going to draw with it. So all I'm going to do is draw the outline of this image underneath. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm not sure how well it's going to come out on the camera. And the idea of this, is that it's something that you can try at home. I'll post a picture of these Easter eggs in the comments if you want to try. I'm rushing this a bit. If you want to try with this particular image, or once I've shown you the technique, you can find something that you want to trace. So the paper I'm using here is literally just a really cheap, thin, flimsy printer paper. Okay. And I'm just using the primary colours at the moment. If you want to keep a really clean, crisp picture, then you might want to clean your in between. Jogged my paper now. So you can see I've moved from a blue to, I'm actually, because I haven't cleaned my stylus tip well enough, I'm actually creating a nice mucky green for now. But you can take a bit more time at home. And then what I'm doing, so all I'm literally doing at the minute is just tracing the outline of this image. And in a moment we're going to mirror that image onto some encaustic paper, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So don't worry too much about being totally precise at this point, because we can tidy it all up in the next step. I can see I've got some people on live, so that's good. I can't see any comments at the moment though. My holder is blocking out the comments, but hopefully you can see. So I'm literally just doing a really rough outline of each of these colours. And I just went for the primary colours. Keep it nice and simple. just do a little bit of something for it to sit on effectively. Bit of gold, because I like a bit of gold. So I'm kind of rushing this a little bit, but the idea is that I've got this stylus at home. It might just give you something to sit down and go and work on. It's quite a relaxing tool to work with, and you can while away an hour or two quite happily doing this when you're not rushing. So basically what I've done there is just taken basically traced that outline. Now obviously I've done a really simplistic felt tip drawing of some Easter eggs there, but if you had a really good design that you wanted to copy and then transfer onto an encaustic picture, same technique would apply. So what I'm going to do then is, oops, get my paper, sorry. So this is currently on just on a normal printer paper, which you can work okay, but if I try and blend this, the wax isn't going to manoeuvre on this paper. So what I'm now going to do, this is a particular encaustic paper, so I'm going to transfer this image now from here onto here. So I'm going to turn that upside down. So what I want to do is make sure that if I hold it up to the light, I can see where I'm transferring it to. So I'm using a smaller piece of paper at this point. So if I was doing the same size, I wouldn't need to worry. So I'm just checking that my edges of my eggs and the whole image is within that A5 piece of paper underneath. So let's leave that like that. And actually what I'm going to do here is what I can do at this point, so from here you want to get a clean nib, and then I'm basically going to use this heat to transfer and effectively get a mirror image. If I pull that back, you can see I'm getting a mirror image of these eggs here. So if I want to be really neat and tidy, I can just go along with the stylus tip here and trace over exactly like we used to do with graphite pencil and a bit of tracing paper as kids. So you can do that. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to take this nib out, or this tip out. Oops. Back over there. And I'm going to put this tip on because it will speed the process up a little bit. This section's really hot, so don't touch this part. So I'm putting a cool tip in, that's okay. Tighten that up. So I can see some people are watching, so if you have any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll come back and have a look in a mo. It probably isn't quite hot enough yet. But I'm basically now melting this wax from the printer paper onto the encaustic wax paper under. So you don't need to apply a huge amount of pressure, just enough to warm the wax underneath. What you can do is just across just to see how it's going. Don't worry about these pieces too much. I've probably put a bit too much pressure here, but don't worry about these. We can tidy these up afterwards when we come to go in with a bit more detail. So I'm not going to take too long with this. I just want to try and give you some ideas that you can work with at home if you've got the stylus sitting there. And in a minute I'll show you we can start to blend the colours and the shapes and the patterns. And this is basically, these techniques are how you, just one way of how you can get quite a lot of detail with encaustic wax. Very often you see the iron and painting in quite an abstract style, but I'll show you how we can get a lot more detail in a minute when we go back in a moment. So basically what we're going to end up doing is this kind of thing. So that's true, one I did earlier on, so I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'll just show you how we can start to blend some of these patterns using different tips and techniques. So peek back, see how we're going, see if there's any blank areas that haven't quite transferred. Okay, that'll do, get the idea. Enough of an outline there to get the gist of. So if you're not especially good at painting and drawing yourself as outline shapes, this can be a really good way of just getting the outline of something. So say you wanted to draw, I don't know, anything, you know, a pet or a person, or, you know, it's not how I tend to do it normally, but you could effectively get an outline of your image and put it in this way. And then what I'm going to do is just start to fill it in using my stylus and back to using this as a fountain pen. To heat up a tiny bit, I'm just going to check the comments quickly. So who have we got online? Hey, lots of people joining on. Happy Easter. Thank you for your wishes. You've not heard of encaustic paper? Yeah, it's a particular paper that I use with encaustic wax. It's the non-daymar style of wax, but yeah, it's really good. It works really nicely with encaustic paper. So it works really well with this range of waxes. There are so many, honestly, there are so many things you can do with encaustic wax. This is a really good way for beginners, especially people who claim they can't draw a straight line, because they can just get creative. It just glides on so smoothly, it's lovely. So I'm kind of rushing this now, but you know, a bit like it's just really, really therapeutic. You can really, really lose yourself for ages. So this is why I was saying don't worry too much if you get great big lumps going over the edge. We can tighten them up, we can lose them in the final design, you know. And okay, Easter eggs are pretty free reign, you can do what you like with them. So you can kind of go over and colour your designs in. I'm not going to do the whole thing again, I've done that over here, but I just want to give some ideas and different ways of colouring and blending colours. So this is a really good practice exercise actually, if you just want to play with blending colours, how they blend together. And it's quite a meditative thing as well actually. It's just nice to lose yourself in. Not so much when you're painting live and chatting at the same time, but when I was doing this first one this morning, it was really nice just having a bit of peace and quiet and painting. So I'm just going to put the outlines in, and then I'll just show you a couple of ways that you can blend some colours. It's a bit like those adult colouring books. Once you kind of puzzle or something like that, it's that same kind of compulsive, you can't quite put it down, and yeah, it's just a nice thing to do. And then, you know, you can just start to decorate them as any way you like. So you could add dots and spots, or, you know, whatever you like. Oh, it started raining. Right, I'll just do the outline of this yellow egg, and then I'll show you a couple of ways of blending some colours. So, it's probably going to come out green again because I haven't cleaned my tip out terribly well. But that's okay, it looks almost like shading instead. But what you can do is you can start to colour and blend. So if you have a big area of colour here, but you can start to, once you've got the colour down, you can start to kind of tease it out, and it's really good for shadowing. And really, the slower that you can do this, the better. I think I'm trying to race it. Mindful of your time. But this is basically how I've created, so you kind of get these big lines of colour coming down here, and then just really gently just start to tease them out. And the same here, so I've got the red outline, put your colour in the middle, and then just start to blend them together, and you can get these really, really nice. So by putting the pink in the middle here and then starting to blend it out, you can really get some cool colour blends going on. And I can either take the pink over the red or pull the red back over the pink. So there we are, there's one way. I'll have a look in a minute and see if there's any comments, but otherwise I will just keep playing away for a minute. So a bit like a colouring book that you would do with felt tip pens, but this is just using hot wax and a heated stylus instead. And then I've got lots of different tips, so I could go in and I could use the paintbrush, which would enable me to colour, in fact I think I'll do that quickly. So that is going to enable me to colour larger areas. So this bit is really hot now, so you do not want to let your fingers touch. Give that a sec to heat up. So this isn't kind of what I would ordinarily paint, but I just wanted to show you a real beginner's way of blending some colours basically. Right, let's have a quick look, see if there's any comments a minute. I can see some people are joining live. So hello Heather from snowy Canada. Hello, hello, lots of people on. Nice to see you. Happy Easter to everybody. So there we go. We've kind of done all of our bits and pieces we needed to do this today, so I thought I'd just disappear and come and just do some quiet painting for a little while. So this paintbrush is really lovely. So you just literally sit it on top of the colour, it sucks it up, and then you can start to paint really nice large areas. Quite quickly. And once the wax is in this molten form, you basically paint with it in exactly the same way that you would any other paint. It just seems to, for me, it moves it much, much more smoothly. Anyhow, I haven't done any lives for the last couple of days. I'm currently working on, Easter eggs aren't my normal drawing subject, so I'm working on a couple of portraits at the moment, but they are not ready to share yet. So but once you understand the techniques of painting with wax and ways in which you can apply it, it really is as limitless as your imagination. And I help people to understand ways in which you can paint with it. So I have got a load of online courses and well, free and paid resources. So yeah, there's lots and lots of information there. And I've been doing basically pretty much live painting most days since the lockdown started. And they're all linked up on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see some other ways, painting with the iron or the hot plate or whatever, then go and take a look at those. Anyhow, you can see how you can easily lose plenty of time just playing and blending the colours together. So what I will do is I'll put a photograph of this in the comments below, and then if you want to print that off and use that as a template just for some fun on a Easter Sunday afternoon, you will be most welcome. If you do end up doing this, please pop a photo of your design, finished designs in the comments, and let me know how you get on. But yeah, you can just start to have fun with it. Blend the colours, pull the blues in from the whatever colours you choose, start mixing, see what you can come up with. It's turning into a bit of a muddy colour now. And you can start to lose your edges and bring them into the painting, so you don't have to have a complete outline. Bring your brush in the direction that the egg would go. And this is where you can lose yourself for hours and hours. Anyhow, I'm not going to take all of your day watching this. I'll have a quick check for comments again before I go. And honestly, it is quite one of those therapeutic things. Once you start, you can't quite stop. And you want to do that next bit and that next bit. And that is why it's so cool. Especially when you get all the different colours. This is gold, I love it. But perfect for anybody really, children, as long as they're old enough to handle hot tools effectively without burning themselves, through to any age really. It really is therapeutic. You can lose yourself for hours. And I think we all need that right now. Anyhow, you get the idea. I will keep playing with this. Oh, you can also add colour on top as well. So if I want to go in with different colours now, or maybe use the stylus, or I've got this, scratching back tool. There's loads of things you can do with it. So let me just check the comments a minute, because I think there've been some more comments come in. Portraits, can't wait to see. Yes, I'm back on the portraits again, but they are under wraps for the time being. So good. Oh, I'm pleased you're going to get your stylus out. Brilliant. Let us know what you've been creating. I hope it's much better than the mess that I've just made. But yeah, it gives you some ideas. I'm going to fill these other bits in a minute and yeah, see what comes out. Anyway, there we go. Happy Easter, everybody. Thank you for everybody that's hopped on and off and on again. And yeah, hope you're having a nice, relaxing day. Take care. Bye.